Guys, what a day. I enjoyed so much. I had a great time at the hacienda. You were so nice to me, and I'm so grateful that I can give a little bit of what I received in the hacienda. So, what do you think about Chihuahua and the Sotol and all the exciting places we've seen today?
You know, I feel like the land of tequila is pretty familiar to me. I spent a bit of time in Jalisco. And when people talk about agave spirits, and I know Sotol is not an agave spirit, but it's agave adjacent, and it's most like an agave spirit than it is
Mexican spirit.
Exactly. But I feel like these landscapes are so wildly different. And it was so cool to get here and explore this region with you.
It's an honor to be here in Chihuahua with you, visiting that, because our passion for tequila is always we want to know more, and knowing more about tequila, it brings you to knowing more about agave, and agave to mezcal, and mezcal to raicilla, and raicilla bacanora. And the next step is also Sotol. Understanding the place of Sotol, it makes us understand better what is the place of tequila.
To understand tequila, you really have to, if you really want to get into it, you've got to dig deep into the other spirits of Mexico. And we really dug deep today. You took us on quite a ride.
Quite a ride. And there's a lot of difference between all the Mexican experience, but there are some similitudes, like the people, the tradition, and the passion of the people that make tequila, Sotol, raicilla is almost the same.
I agree. I feel like maybe it changes the tool, maybe change the plan, it might change the landscape and the mountains, but what is always there is passion, tradition, family, and in this case, amazing people like you, like Don Lalo, like Ricardo, Chuy, and every place we went, it was seeing people happy, passionate about what they do, and this tradition who has been coming for 3 generations.
Well, I think also if the landscape and the plant, and there's a lot of differences between Sotol and tequila, but one thing that is not different is that tequila is an icon for Jalisco. It's emblematic of the region. And I learned today that Sotol is absolutely emblematic and inextricable from this region. And it was so cool to get to try the different Sotoles from the different areas that we went to, because you're tasting the soil, you're tasting the climate, you're tasting the plants that are around it, you're tasting the hand of the maker. And it's seeing that firsthand was just such an incredible experience.
So whatever's not bacanora, coming from Chihuahua or Sonora, will be a lechuguilla. Okay. We'll get to try some later today.
What do you think about the difference and the similitudes of the tequila and Sotol? Can you list some of one you look today?
I mean, of course, the plant is different to start with, so you always start with that. And after the cooking method in Patrón, most of our tequila is made on brick ovens. Here is underground pits, even if we use underground pits for the ahumado and the smoky, but here that's a common practice, even if some cook in brick ovens. The fermentation is pretty similar, even if here is completely wild fermentation. But the milling, I can see process, and I can see that some of these vinatas are starting to use the roller mill too. But many is still made by axe. I haven't seen a Tahona here, and we do have a Tahona in tequila in Patrón.
The biggest, difference that I thought was fun to explore today, when we shared Patrón Extra Añejo with the maestros, here's a thing that's almost, I would say, like the pinnacle of tequila aging. I think that's something that we do really well at Patrón. And that's not really part of the tradition in Sotol, or maybe it isn't yet, I don't know. And to have the maestros taste this thing that's really the kind of the far end, it's a very, very aged Extra Añejo. Lots of robust flavor, incredible aromatics, and that's a thing that we do, but they don't really do that. And I thought they were really receptive to it. They seemed kind of excited to try it. I kept seeing them topping off the cups a little bit.
Lano asked for a refill, so they liked it.
And then I think if there's a biggest similarity that struck me, besides just the iconic and emblematic nature of the spirits, to bring it back to what Ricardo Pico said about Sotol as an honest spirit, as a transparent spirit. With Blanco tequila, if it's well made, traditional methods, no additives, that is, you are reading like the palm reading of the plant, right? It is the purest expression of the agave, whether you're talking about tequila made at a modern facility like Patrón or Sotol and these very traditional practices. Both of those spirits, there's nothing to hide between the plant and what you're tasting in the glass. And I think that's super exciting to see.
So, do you know a little bit the story of this place? Like, what?
Yeah, we are in the Mexico bar. This is not only one of the best places in Chihuahua, but I mean, it's one of the best bars in the world because it's only based in Mexican spirit. So, like, we are having an agua de rancho. That is a riff on the ranch water that my good friend Alberto did, and it's like a ranch water with Sotol, and we call it here agua de rancho, and it's a very, very famous Sotol drink here in Chihuahua.
Plus, I never seen so many different Sotoles and people who is that knowledgeable about Sotol. I don't think it exists any bar in the world who is as knowledgeable about Sotol as I was talking, right?
Yeah, you know, if you want to talk about Sotol, Ricardo Pico is your guy. You know, he's been amazing. He's been working not only for his brand, you know, but he really deeply cared for the Sotoleros. So yeah, he's a great guy. Always learn something when you chat with Pico. So it's an honor to be here in his bar drinking some agua de rancho.
So, you know, like I used to teach, right? And I always found funny when you have these students and you understand better when you meet their parents.
Yeah.
Feel when I visiting, because I understand why you are like that, right? I think that happens with the spirit. We just visit Aldama and Don Lalo, Chuy, and when you talk with them and you understand why they do that, you can taste it. You can taste the person in the Sotol. And I think in the tequila for us right now, with David Rodriguez and previously with Francisco Alcaraz, you can taste that. And you can taste a Totonilco, you can taste Jalisco, the Terroir.
Well, I think also maybe from like metaphysical standpoint, having met Paco and Salomon in Juarez, I will never not think of them. I will never not think of their space. I will never not think of that meal. I will never not think of that landscape that I experienced every time I taste those spirits from now on. I'm going to be taken back there.
Yeah, it's important, you know, when we're tasting, and correct me, sommelier, but is, you know, when you taste, we focus in flavors, but sometimes it will be good, like say, this tastes like Salomon, this tastes Don Lalo, because it does, you know, and it tastes like David Rodriguez, you know, it tastes like Francisco Alcaraz, it tastes like,
this is part like the terroir. It's not only the ground or the soil, it's the tradition, it's the people, it's the family, it's the way, and you can taste it like in a wine, like in a tequila, like in a Sotol. You are tasting more than just a spirit. There's a lot of people, a lot of years, a lot of history, a lot of traditions, a lot of good friends. So cheers again.
Cheers to the Sotoleros.
To the Sotoleros. City that is the capital of the state. I'm very excited to show my friends David and Robert